Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurul Shoda binti Ramli. My metric number is T2020-1095507. I am from Group A. To solve the Gauss-Jordan elimination method, there are a few steps that we need to follow. We need to write the equation into the augmented matrix, and then we need to use a row operation to get leading one. And then while moving down the rows, the leading one must move progressively to the right, and also we need to use operations to make below and above leading one are all zeros. As you guys can see here, this is the equation that I choose, which has three equations and three unknown. The unknown are x, y, and z. To solve this equation by using Gauss-Jordan elimination method, the first step that we need to do is we need to write this equation into augmented matrix. So how to write in augmented matrix? Okay, we need to take the coefficient of unknown and we can write it on the matrix form, in this form. Okay, x plus y plus z is equals to 1. So we take the coefficient, x is 1, y is 1, z is 1, and for the left hand side we need to make a partition and then we can write the number. So for the first row is 1. And then for the second row, there is no x, so we will write down as 0. And then for y is 2, for z is negative 6. And then for left hand side is 2. Okay, the third row is 3. And then y, negative 5. And for first thing first, we must check first row and first column here, which is 1. Okay, this first row and first column must be a leading one. Okay, so in this question, already leading one, so we can move to the next step. But if our first row and first column is not a leading one, so we need to do some operation until we get a leading one. Next, the step is we need to check the number below leading one must be all 0. As we can see here, this is the number below leading one. Okay, this is already 0. And this 3 must become a 0. So, how to make this number become a 0? So, yeah, we need to do some operations here. What we need to do is, we need to multiply 3 with row 1. And then minus with row 3, and we need to write it down in row 3. This is because we need to make a change in row 3, so we will write down the answer in row 3. Since we are not involving row 1 and row 2, so we can just copy back the number from row 1 and row 2. Okay, we can plug in the number, which is 3 times 1 minus 3, we will get 0. And then 3 times 1 minus 6, we will get negative 3. And then 3 times 1 minus negative 5, we will get 8. And then 3 times 1 minus 4, we will get negative 1. Okay, so far we have made a leading one in the left corner, and below leading one are all zeros. Next, we move to the next diagonal entry, which is row 2, column 2 here. Okay, this number here must be a leading one. So, how to do that? To make this 2 to become a leading one, we can multiply it with 1 over 2 times row 2 and write down in row 2. Okay, so for the first and third row, we just copy it back since we need to make change in row 2. So 1 over 2 times 0, we will get 0. 1 over 2 times 2, we will get 1. 1 over 2 times negative 6, we will get negative 3. 1 over 2 times 2, we will get 1 here. As we can see here, the rules are still same, so we need to follow, which is above and below leading one must be 0. This one must be 0 and this one must be 0. So we need to do it one by one. So I would like to change the number below the leading one first. Okay, for this one. Okay, this -3. How -3 we can make it as 0, so we need to do some multiply and addition operation. Okay, so here how to get this become 0, 3 times with row 2 plus row 3, and we will write it down in row 3 since we will make a change in row 3. Okay, so the answer that we will get here is 3 times 0 plus 0, we will get 0. 3 times 1 plus -3, we will get here as 0. And then 3 times -3, we will get -9. -9 plus with 8, we will get -1. For this one, 3 times row 2, 3 times 1 plus with 1, we will get here 2. Okay, so we can continue to make the number above leading one become 0. Right, so how to do that? Keep focus with me. Okay, so we can just do some subtraction, which is row 1 minus with row 2, and we will write it down in row 1. Okay, same with previous, which is row 2 and row 3 here, we just copy it back from previous one. So row 1, 1 minus 0, we will get 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. 1 minus -3, we will get it 4. And then 1 minus 1 is 0. Okay, so far our first column and second column is follow the Gauss-Jordan elimination. Okay, and then move to the next diagonal entry, which is here is -1. This -1 must be a leading one. So how to make this number to become a leading one? This is just a simple way because it just involves sign. So -1 times row 3, and we will write it back in row 3 here. So what we will get, okay, here negative times 0, we will get 0. Negative times 0, we will get 0. Negative times -1 times -1, we will get 1. -1 times 2, we will get -2. Okay, this is not complete yet because the number, as we can see here, the number above leading one is not 0. So we need to do some operation. We will go through one by one. So for this part, I would like to change row 1 first. Okay, so how to do that? 4 times with row 3 minus row 1 and write it back in row 1. Okay, so what we will get here is 4 times 0 is 0 minus 1, we will get -1 here, and then 4 times 0 minus 0, we will get 0, and then 4 times 1 minus 4, we will get here 0, and then 4 times -2 minus 0, we will get -8. We'll get -8 here. Okay, so the next step, we can see obviously we just need to make a change to this number to become a 0. So the next step is how to make it to become a 0. So we can do some operation, which is 3 times with row 3 and then plus with row 2 and write the answer in row 2 since we want to make a change in row 2, right? So the answer that we will get is 3 times 0 is 0 plus row 2 here 0, And then 3 times 0 plus 1, we will get 1. And then 3 times 1 plus with negative 3, we will get here 0. And then 3 times negative 2 plus 1, we will get here negative 5. We are not complete yet because this first row and first column should be leading 1. But we get here is negative 1. So we need to do some simple operations. So negative 1 times with row 1. And we will write it back in row 1. So here is, we will get as 1, and then 0, 0, and 8. So here is the final matrix that we get. How to know this is follow Gauss-Jordan elimination method or not. So we need to check the leading one here. This is 1, leading 1, and leading 1. And the leading one is moved progressively to the right. Okay, and also above and below leading one are all 0. So this is called RREF or reduced row echelon form. Clearly, the solution reads x equals to 8, y equals to negative 5, and z is equals to negative 2. But before that, before we leave this section, we need to check this answer. Okay, here, check. Okay, so we need to plug in the answer that we get at the partition side, which is x when x is equals to 8, y is equals to negative 5, and z is equals to negative 2. We need to substitute back in the first equation. Here is first equation, second equation, and third equation. If we get here, left hand side is equals to right hand side. So our answer is correct. So yeah, we are at the end of the discussion. That's all from me. Thank you.